best tier. Top of best tier, even. Next, we got Keyleth, a very controversial one here. I have perspective now. We've grown as a person and in roleplay. Man, this is probably going to make people upset, but... How's it going, guys? Welcome back to Fraud on the Telly. Today, I got a YouTuber special for you. That's right, we're doing a tier list. Not just any tier list, though. Today, we are ranking all of the Critical Role cast characters. As always, if you enjoyed the video or learned something new, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. I'm just gonna get right into it because I know this video is gonna be long and I'm gonna probably rant some. Okay, as I said, we got our tier list here. I broke it down into 5 categories. Best, one of my favorites, good, okay, I guess, and not a fan. I'm not sure if any characters are going to end up in not a fan. Probably not, because I am a fan after all. Let's just do our best not to put everyone in the best tier, shall we? We're going to do this in no particular order, as there's no point since we're comparing all of the characters against one another and my thoughts on them. As always, guys, this is just my opinion, so if you disagree with me, let me know in the comments down below, or feel free to do your own tier list. Sorry ahead of time if I on your favorite character. Okay, starting off here, we have Beauregard, Lionette, Marisha Ray's character from Campaign 2. Now, I like Beau. Beau's great. Big fan of Beau. A lot bigger fan of Beau than I was of Keyleth, but we'll get to that later. I don't know if you guys know this, but I'm a lover of martial arts. Been doing Muay Thai for like 6 years now, something like that. And I freaking love monks. This character was awesome. Huge change of pace and direction from Keyleth in Campaign 1. Beau, way more in your face. Zero fucks given type character. I like this energy from Marisha. Super fun. Beau, where's Beau gonna go? Beau's going in good. I have a feeling there's a lot of characters that are gonna end up going in good. Next up, Caduceus Calais. Oh, Caduceus. You know, Taliesin really did have a tough job trying to replace Molly in Campaign 2. Caduceus was good. I'm not the biggest Caduceus fan. Now, before you guys eviscerate me in the comments, Jesus, cat, Caduceus is fine. I don't dislike Caduceus. I like that Caduceus is kind of the wise one in the party. I think Taliesin can do that role and be that character very well. But as far as like Caduceus's personal story for themselves, not really the biggest fan. Kind of lower tier compared to a lot of the other characters' personal story we got. I like a lot of the aesthetic of the character. I like the goofiness at times of the character. But, you know, not everybody can be good. So, Caduceus, I'm sorry, buddy. We're going in okay, I guess. Next up, we got Caleb, Liam's character from Campaign 2, replacing Vaxel Dawn. Very, very different approach here from Liam. I love Caleb, sad boy wizard vibes. You gotta love it. Dude's got awesome backstory. I mean, Liam's very, very good when it comes to developing backstory in his characters. Caleb, you know, Liam loves a sad boy. Liam loves an edgy character. Liam loves a character with some rough backstory. And Caleb is all of that. All of that. Caleb has one of the best backstories that interlinks with Campaign 2, in my opinion. A bunch of surprises sprinkled all throughout there. And yeah, Caleb's just great. I love his kind of energy that he had with the party early on, how he was super like kind of like aggressive and did not interact well with the group, and they kind of had to warm up to each other. Good character. Caleb's definitely going in one of my favorites. Next up, we got Chetney. We're huge Chetney fans on this channel. This is probably Travis's best character, in my opinion, and Travis has some good ones. Chetney, and I think, really gives Travis a lot of the things in all of his other characters that he wants all together. He gets to melee, do big damage. He gets to be comedic relief while still being a smart character. Yeah, what more could you want? Chetney cracks me up. I love all of the characters in Campaign 3, but Chetney, for me, is definitely one of the best of the Bell's Hells party, and easily Travis's best character. I mean, Sarah's a close second, but easily Travis's best character. Next, we got FCG, everyone's favorite little automaton from Campaign 3. Now, we all know Sam's freaking god tier at D&D and coming up with characters. We already know. Don't worry, we're going to be doing a lot of praising Sam later in this video, I'm sure. FCG though, so far we know the least about this character, obviously, as the game's still going on, but for me, probably on the bottom, maybe second bottom of Sam's characters, and I hold Sam to a very, very high standards because this dude's characters are so, so good. This is a very different look, I think. It's not your traditional Sam Riegel, you know, kind of joke of the party, jokester, the guy that does all of the comedic relief while still telling a very, very important story interlaced, and he's doing that right now, but it's tough. Do we put FCG in good or okay, I guess? Ooh, man, that is tough. We're going to put FCG in good because I can't bring to give myself a rating of less than good for any of Sam Riegel's characters. The guy's just too good. Next, we got Fearne. Right away, Fearne. Straight into the best. Straight into the best. Easily Ashley Johnson's best character, in my opinion. I love Fearne energy, man. Fearne cracks me up. Fearne's one of the funniest characters in Campaign 3. I love her chaoticness. I love her chaotic nature. I love her story that's happening at the time of recording in Campaign 3 right now. Yeah, Fearne's amazing. What more can we say? I want more Fearne action. Not like that. I'm not a furry. Next up, we got Fjord. Yeah, everyone's favorite Tusk Love-esque half-orc. Fjord's pretty good. Travis's characters, you know, I have my favorites of Travis's characters, which you guys are going to find out soon. But I like Fjord. Fjord's probably going in good. Maybe we'll move him up to one of my favorites. I really like his story. I love Warlocks. Warlocks are awesome. Hexblade Warlocks, even cooler. Fjord has one of the coolest backstories of Campaign 2. Probably one of the coolest backstories in general. Oh, man, do we put Fjord in one of our favorites? You know, I think I'm going to move Fjord into one of my favorites. The more I'm talking about Fjord's story and Uk'otoa and all the goodness, the more that I remember how much I enjoyed the story and how much it really carried a lot of parts of Campaign 2 for me. So yeah, Fjord's going into one of my favorites for sure. Next up, we got another Travis character, Grog. Oh man, this is tough too, man, because for me, Grog is probably my least favorite of all of Travis's characters. Now, obviously, I like all of them, so that's not saying much, because I freaking love Grog. I mean, watching Legends of Vox Machina back reminded me how much I enjoy Grog. Then that I Want to Rage scene in the first couple episodes, mwah, so good, so good. Grog minimum goes in good. The question is he one of my favorites? You know, maybe this is recency bias, because I haven't watched Campaign 1 in a while. Obviously I watched Legends of Vox Machina, and that kind of gave me a lot of reminders, but maybe I just didn't like the characters from Campaign 1 as much as the other characters in hindsight, now that I've experienced them. I'm learning a lot about myself right now, guys. Grog's going in the top of good tier, I think. The top of good tier. He's close to one of my favorites, probably is one of my favorites, but we're gonna put Grog in good right now. Next up, we got Imogen. Imogen also goes in good. Imogen goes in good. I like Imogen's story a lot right now, as obviously Imogen has the Ruidus story and kind of interlinked with everything going on in Campaign 3, but I feel like we haven't yet broken into a lot of Imogen's character yet, so it's hard for me to put her in one of my favorites just yet. For me, I like Imogen a lot. She has amazing, awesome backstory that's being unraveled right now. If you can't tell from a lot of our other videos on the channel, big fan of this stuff and everything that's going on. I like Imogen. However, I don't think that Imogen is nearly as good as our next character, at least yet so far. Our next character being Jester. Jester instantly goes in the best, not even close. Jester is fantastic. Easily Laura's best character, probably. The vibe switch up from Vex in Campaign 1 to Jester and the chaoticness of Campaign 2 is great. Some players are just born to play chaotic characters. Ashley's one of them, and Laura's one of them as well. Jester has some of the best moments from Campaign 2, while their backstory is not as big of a deal. With Jester, that's not really what carries them. What carries Jester and what makes Jester so awesome is all of the little interactions, all of the little one-liners that go on in basically every single episode. You just never know what you're going to get with Jester, and obviously she had that crazy cupcake moment. Jester goes in the best. Easy. Next, we got Keyleth, a very controversial one here. You know, if I would have made this list like years ago when I first watched this show live on the streams, Keyleth would have gone right here. Not even joking. I was one of those guys. I was not a fan of Keyleth. But see, you have to forgive me now before you roast me in the comments. I was a young man. I have perspective now. We've grown as a person and in roleplay. And for that reason, Keyleth goes in good. Keyleth goes in good. Not one of my favorites, but, you know, in hindsight, looking back at Keyleth's story and what Marisha was trying to tell, Keyleth is an annoying character at times. That's the whole point. That's why the character is so good. It's because Marisha's telling the story and showing the character's vulnerabilities and everything, this kind of coming-of-age story, you know what I mean? Legend of Vox Machina really helped put some of this into perspective, me looking back, even though they altered Keyleth's story a bit in the show. Great character, awesome moments, really grew on me. That was kind of the whole point of the character, is the character's growth from start to finish of the campaign, and even hopefully we'll get some surprise return Keyleth maybe in Campaign 3. That would be pretty cool. So yeah, for that reason, Keyleth goes in good. But, you know, I'm sympathetic to Keyleth haters out there. I think you guys are misguided, but, you know, I was one of you. I was one of you not that long ago. Next, we have Laudna. Laudna. One of my favorites. Easily one of my favorites. Probably Marisha's best character. Awesome backstory, you know, we got with Delilah, who we love the Briarwoods here on this channel. Just that whole story interlocking with Campaign 1, with Percy's backstory, with Whitestone. She's freaky, she's weird, she's a dead girl. I mean, what more can I say about Laudna? She's awesome. I love her interactions with the cast. Cracks me up. Next, we got Malimok. Malimok Tea Leaf, everyone's favorite tiefling. Oh, I guess besides Jester. Depends on who you ask, I guess. Malimok's great. Mollymock's fantastic. Where do we put Mollymock? Is Mollymock one of my favorites? Obviously, they're good. Minimum good. Probably high goods. You know, Mollymock goes in good. Goes in good. I liked Molly's... Mollymock's one of my favorites. Mollymock's one of my favorites. You know, after making the recent video we made, The Life and Story of Mollymock Tea Leaf, and really looking back, Molly was one of the big reasons that I watched the early kind of arcs in Campaign 2. Molly carried a lot of that show for me. So did Jester. It was kind of weird, you know, the adjustment process when you go from Campaign 1 to Campaign 2, getting used to these new characters. Molly's story, their kind of weirdness, and then obviously after the death, spoiler alert, and however all that played out over the whole entire campaign, it really kept me interested. I kind of came in and out of Campaign 2. There was a time where I took a few episodes off of Campaign 2 because I just wasn't as interested. But it was Molly's story and ultimately the story with Lucian, Cognoza, all that crazy shit that really kind of brought me back into the fandom. So I gotta be thankful for Molly for bringing me back into the show, back into my love for D&D. So I guess for that, we'll put Molly in one of my favorites. Next up, we have Nott the Brave, aka Veth. I forgot her last name. What do we say about Nott? Nott's pretty great. Nott-Keyleth relationship, pretty good. Not one of my favorite characters from Campaign 2. I liked the story. The story was good. I personally was not super attached to the story. I mean, I kind of was, enough to care. I wanted to know, you know, the origins, like how did this person become a goblin? You know, the whole process. When they did the ritual of when she became a halfling again was super freaking crazy. Big hype moment there. But as we said earlier, we hold Sam Riegel on a pretty high tier. Nott is probably higher than FCG, but doesn't make it into one of my favorites. Don't think so. That's saved for a couple of other of Sam's characters. Next we have Orym. Orym's okay, I guess. You know, not to be mean on harsh on Orym. You gotta have a kind of milquetoast character sometimes in the party because it makes all the odd ones really stand out more. There's always a role for that in D&D. It also kind of gives this, Orym gives this perspective as well of like the normal guy that's kind of encountering all this crazy stuff, which I think is a very interesting story that you can tell. But we just don't know enough about Orym. Orym, I feel like a lot of times just goes under the radar in Campaign 3 games. And so because of that, we're probably going to put Orym in okay, I guess. Woo-hoo-hoo, here we go. Percy von Musel Kowalski De Rolo the third. Best tier. top of best tier even. Easily the best character that Taliesin has come up with. I mean, that Briarwood arc, man. I mean, sheesh. If you don't know, I'm a huge Percy fan. That's why we did a whole video over Percy De Rolo, because I love this arc. I love the fact that Legend of Vox Machina focused on this arc, because in Campaign 1, this is probably, besides the Chroma Conclave, the most, like, iconic arc and moments, in all of Critical Role, regardless of Campaign 1, in my opinion. The Briarwood arc really changed for me what it was like to make D&D backstory for a character, and then to have your DM take that and run with it. That was great. I love dark horror fantasy. Yeah, what more can we say? We love Percy here. We love Percy's story here on this channel. Next, we got Pike. Man, this is probably going to make people upset, but Pike, man, I mean, I feel like putting Pike into this tier is doing her wrong, because it wasn't Ashley's fault that they struggled to be there during Campaign 1. But Ashley not being there, it's not her fault, but it made me not care about the character as much. So, going into okay, I guess. A lot of potential. Legend of Vox Machina really kind of hit on a lot of, you know, the good stuff that was Pike's character, because it's an animated show. You know, it's a little different, right? But just the fact that, you know, Ashley wasn't there every week and missed huge amounts of time because she was off filming Blind Spot or whatever. You know, don't want to hold it against her, but it is what it is. She was just okay. Scanlan short haul, man. I mean, Scanlan goes in the best tier. I mean, like, surely Scanlan goes in the best tier. And, I mean, Sam Riegel, dude. Like, I told you we were going to gush on Sam Riegel, and Scanlan is just, like, the Sam Riegel character. When you think of Sam Riegel characters, your mind instantly goes to Scanlan. Scanlan's one of the most iconic characters from Campaign 1, the face of the party, absolute trickster. If you want to take notes of how to play, like, comedic relief characters, just watch any of Sam's characters, but Scanlan, for sure, definitely one of them that does it the best. Awesome personal story arcs. This guy manages to tell these hilarious stories while combining it with, like, really, really real feelings. His whole interaction with his estranged daughter and coming to terms with that. I mean, like, that's a real emotional story from a character that you think is just this whimsical joker. And that's Sam Riegel, man. That guy knows how to tell a freaking good story. Definitely one of the best. Taryon Darrington. You know, I almost forgot about Terry when I made this list, and I don't know how I could, because Terry's one of my favorites. Literally for his intro scene alone. One of the funniest moments, in my opinion, in Critical Role, when they meet up with Terry on accident on the streets of Marquette. That shit's hilarious. That scene, if you don't know what I'm talking about, go watch it, because that scene is so freaking funny. Terry's hilarious. The whole concept of their character and this kind of, like, you know, this kind of, like, fake, he's like a fake adventurer, right, who, like, wants to journey out. Vox Machina, you know, really sussing this guy out, making him earn his stripes, and then just at the end, you know, Terry becoming this really close member of the party, having this really intimate story end up being told. One about sexuality, coming of age, acceptance of your parents. Good stuff. Again, Sam Riegel makes the funny character, also tells the saddest stories. Just, it's beautiful. Great stuff. Next, we got Ashton. Oh, man. Do we stick Ashton into okay, I guess? I mean, I like Ashton. Ashton goes in good. Ashton goes in good. Great backstory, lucksome stuff, good stuff. Can't wait to learn more about that later. You know, there's way more secrets lurking there. Taliesin makes good characters. Not Percy tier good, at least so far, but I like how kind of wild Ashton is. They give that chaos energy, which is always fun in a party. They don't give a you know. What more can you like? But it's going to go into good for now. Maybe if we make this tier list again later after Campaign 3, they might move up a tier. Vaxel Dawn. Vax also goes in good. You know, I like Vax. I do like Vax, but, you know, looking back, Vax a lot of times just comes off as just the super edgy boy. He's super loyal, so I kind of get where a lot of that comes from, but I don't know. Maybe I find the character a little shallow in hindsight. Maybe it was Legends of Vox Machina. I'm not really sure. You know, they kind of ride the line between being the suave, really, you know, kind of go-getter, attractive, like, kind of faced-esque character, while being this super edgy boy, you know? I mean, Vax's story is really good. Raven Queen, all that good stuff. Sacrifice for family, sacrifice for the one you loved. Vax is pretty good. Vax, we'll probably put Vax upper middle good tier for sure. Vexalia, the twin. Where do we put Vex? I'm trying to think. I mean, do we stick Vex in good as well? Vex goes in good. I mean, what are you gonna say? Sexy half-elf twins. I mean, gotta love them. I love watching Laura barter, Laura do banker RP. Very funny. I always got a kick out of it. Love the Percy interactions. Man, campaign 1 feels like so long ago trying to think of all this stuff. Didn't really have as much of like a personal backstory journey in campaign 1. To be fair, it very much seemed like the levels of backstory were pretty widely different from the characters made in campaign 1, especially when you compare it to 2 and 3, when everyone's just got, you know, sheets of backstory that are going into the story. Because of that, they probably go into low to mid good. I like Vexalia. Definitely not Laura's best character, though, in my opinion. Finally, we got Yasha. I mean, Yasha, unfortunately, suffers from the same problems that Pike does. I'm going to put Yasha under Pike. We didn't see a lot of her. She missed a lot of episodes. That's not Ashley's fault. Also, I didn't watch like a decent chunk of the later campaign 2 kind of episodes live when they were coming out. I had to go back and watch that because I took a break from watching Critical Role because I just wasn't enjoying it as much as I had been earlier on in campaign 1 or at the beginning of campaign 2. So some of Yasha's stuff I just didn't see either. So, you know, maybe that's my own personal bias, but I like a lot of the concept of Yasha's character. I like her backstory. I like the whole story that she has with the Stormlord, kind of her redemption arc, this fallen Aasimar. I mean, Aasimar characters are super cool. She's a barbarian as well, which is super cool. Very tragic, edgy character as well. But I don't know. Maybe I'm just finding I just don't have a thing for edgy characters as much as I used to. Or at the very least, they gotta be like Percy edgy. And yeah, I think that's it for our Critical Role character tier list. I had a feeling that no one was going to end up in Not a Fan. You know, if I had to do this right now and put a character in Not a Fan, it's probably going to be Orym or Yasha. And it's not even because I'm not an actual fan. Maybe Orym so as much. But Orym, I think we just have to wait until we get the better, more substantive story from Orym. And I don't dislike Orym's character. They're just kind of very simple in a party of crazy nutters. Let me know what you thought of my tier list in the comments down below. What do you agree? What do you disagree? Who are your best tier characters? I think we got a pretty good selection right here. I stand by the best tier for sure. Some of these, one of my favorites, probably could move up. You know, I almost put Taryon in best tier as well. He was very close, but I didn't think it would be fair to give Sam 2 best tiers. Now we just got to keep it fair, guys. As always, if you enjoyed the video or learned something new, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to check out some of our other Critical Role content, like our episode breakdown videos and our lore explained videos. As always, I hope to see you guys in the next video. Stay safe out there. Peace, love. Adieu.